We have followed along after months of rolling layoffs stemming from the Canada-U.S. trade war. Production at the Windsor Assembly Auto Plant is returning to 2 full shifts a day starting this morning. For more on what the future holds for workers, we're joined in studio by Flavio Volpe, president of the Automotive Parts Manufacturers Association. Great to have you here in studio.
Thanks for having me.
Listen, full production it starts this morning. You said the first full shift around 9 a.m.?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, that's got to be a lot of relief for workers. How are they feeling today?
Well, look, you know, we've been seeing through this year, as you're talking about rolling brownouts.
Yeah.
You imagine every day going to work and wondering whether the news is going to be outside, wanting to talk to you about the latest thing that happens. People just want to go to work.
Yeah.
And they just want to earn a check, and they want to just hang around with their families. Yesterday, they had a 100-year celebration just outside that plant, and in that plant, former workers, they had a car show. It was all kinds of celebration of it. But they've been living with the anxiety of, is it going to survive or not?
Yeah, and it's it looks like a long summer ahead. And speaking of summer, full production was supposed to start July 1st on Canada Day. So what led to it starting early?
Well, look, a week here and a week there is really no difference. What they were doing is doing a rollover from their 2025 models to their 2026. You know, we saw the Stats Can numbers last month that auto exports are down 22%. That's what those people are feeling, and the suppliers, the 10,000, 12,000 employees that work on suppliers that send parts to that plant, sitting there saying, look, if we can't get out from under these tariffs, we're going to have rolling brownouts. And the products that we make for Americans. Those are American tastes. If we can't get out from under this tariff, am I going to have this job next year or the year after? And it's a real big difference from all the celebration of the last couple of years when we landed a whole bunch of investments, including at that plant.
I know there's got to be relief this morning, starting these full shifts coming back online. But you and I have had several conversations because things look hopeful, then they don't. Things look dire, then there's a bit of hope. It's been a roller coaster. I know it's a phrase that's overused, but that's really the best way to describe it. How has this affected auto workers? Where are they sitting right now?
Well, I think people just like to go to work without the anxiety of politics. You know, you didn't sign up to be a politician by going to work on a production line. And it's another piece of bad news waiting for them every day. The Prime Minister and the President agreed at the G7 to work on a deal over the next 30 days. Hopefully that includes the elimination of automotive tariffs like we've had tariffs removed on parts. Then they just go back to work to make great product like they have for 100 years.
But in the meantime, you know, we're about 20 days away from that deadline. But we've seen deadlines come and go, so you've got to hold that loosely. How long do we think production could stay into these full-time shifts again for?
It's really unclear. In the end, most of that product gets shipped to the U.S. So you're producing vehicles, and then you try to move them. You can't inventory them. You know, the shots of the plant there isn't some great big parking lot. You wouldn't do that. Yeah.
Stellantis is expected to speed up production of its gas-powered Dodge Charger Daytona car this fall. The car was previously launched as an EV. So what could that indicate maybe for the future of the plant? What are you watching for?
Well, I think what it says is where tastes are going in the U.S. right now. Look, we saw a very good increase in EVs, also accompanied by the government investing in production and in purchase incentives. The Trump administration pulled those all away. Right. And so you've got this Dodge Charger. The Dodge Charger, you know, there's this famous muscle car that everybody thinks is American, comes from Canada.
Loud.
As an EV, that's not what that customer base is looking for. So we're going to see full production of this gas-powered Charger through the end of the year. Yes, of course, there's a lot of us that support electrification, including me and our industry. But you have to be able to sell the vehicle. If you don't sell the vehicle, you don't have a job. This is good news for this plant if we can get that tariff taken away.
Okay, so let's talk about that if. If a deal comes, what do you want it to look like? What kind of discussions do you want happening right now? I mean, obviously, no tariffs doesn't exist. Donald Trump has said he wants them, they're here to stay. But what could they look like that would still help your industry?
Yeah, look, no tariffs overall is probably not something that we're going to see. No tariffs in some industries. It would be nice to see no tariffs on vehicles. But you can also trade with them on what did they want the first time Trump was president? Well, they wanted more American content in the vehicles. Since we signed the USMCA, about 10% more American content is in every single vehicle made in North America. So you could say to him, look, you know what? We could try for no tariffs, but we can try for a higher floor of American content. More American steel, more American parts. You know, it's not that hard to give for us because that's where the trend is. And a whole bunch of Canadian companies are invested in 170 plants in the U.S. that supply production here. I'm hoping that we can see something sophisticated like that. But you know, look, honestly, I said this to the Prime Minister when I first met him. I don't want your job. This is a really tough moment with someone who might make a deal today, celebrate it, and then a couple days later change his mind. So let's make sure that what we offer the Americans is material, so that we've got some leverage. That 2 or 3 days later, when he thinks about changing his mind, he's like, well, we got something here.
Yeah.
Let's stick with it.
It's a win that he can message as we put more America in American cars.
Yeah.
It's good thinking. I hope he listens to what you had to say, the Prime Minister, I mean.
Yeah.
Fabio Volpe joining us in studio today, president of the Automotive Parts Manufacturers Association. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
If you like that video, make sure to subscribe to the Your Morning YouTube feed, where you can find all kinds of new content posted every weekday morning.